Hello children. In the last topic we discussed about the, the situation of unemployment and disguised unemployment. So from both cases we discussed where people are working less than their productive capacity. So this situation is not good for the economy because less people are working, the burden is more on the economy because the people who are earning they have to pay for the unemployed people as well. So now how to create employment in the country? First, the same strategy cannot be adopted in both rural areas and urban areas. In rural areas, first thing we can do is expansion of irrigational facilities. See, Punjab is really blessed to have rivers and canal irrigation. But in certain states of India, even today, the farmers are dependent on rainfall. So that means they can grow crops only once a year. And if we provide them irrigational facilities, one, the farmers will be able to cultivate two or three crops from the same land, production will increase. Number two, canals are required to be built, dams are required to be built. How many people will get employment in making of dams, making of canals, and then running this facility? So that will lead to huge income generation. Number two is transportation. When farmers produce, they need to sell that product in the market. So if they have proper transportation facilities, their income would increase, they would be able to sell the product where they get the better price, and the people will get employment in transportation facilities also, in making roads, in drivers, etc. Next is cheap credit. If we talk about cheap credit, we are talking about availability of cheap loans. That means loans at less rate of interest. In our country, the agricultural traders, money lenders, they are charging up to something about 60 to 35% of interest per annum. The poor farmers, they are not able to get out of this cycle of loans, get trapped into it, and then commit suicide. So if they provide them cheap credit or the timely availability of loan at less rate of interest, they will be able to grow crops properly, they will able to spray pesticides or insecticides required, and they will able to give fertilizers to the crop at the time it required, which will definitely help in increasing production and increasing their income as well. Then in the rural areas or the towns near rural areas, we can definitely go for small scale food processing industry. For example, mini shellers can be started, sauce making factory can be started of small scale. Then we can chips making, processing of dal, getting turmeric into turmeric powder. So food processing industry and the processing of agro based materials can be started at small scale industries in rural areas. Then honey collection centers. The tribal areas of India, even today the tribals, they go to the forest, collect honey and then sell it themselves. If they get honey collection centers like milk collection centers now we have in India, where these tribal people or farmers can come and sell their honey, they can have extra income. Not only tribals, even farmers, because lack of marketing facilities make this occupation difficult to adopt. So beekeeping can be done. You can always keep some boxes of honey bees under the trees and get the honey production. So this will be additional income for the farmers. Now the next topic is how to create employment in urban areas. In urban areas, we can start with more educational facilities and health facilities. It's not that they are not available in cities already, or it's not that we need not to have in rural areas. In rural areas, we already have primary health centers which give health facilities related to very basic and simple ailments. For example, temperature, cough, cold, etc. But for major things, we cannot have big hospital in rural areas because population is very less. Primary schools are already there in rural areas, so we cannot focus on expanding education and health facilities in rural areas. They need to be promoted in urban areas. According to Planning Commission or Niti Ayog, we can create 20 lakh jobs in the education sector alone. So which is huge. Then same is for health facilities. In the COVID, it was very clear that the health facilities are there in the country, but they are not enough for 140 crore people. We need to have more hospitals, we need to have more nurses, more doctors. So when we will expand hospital facilities or health facilities, we need people to construct hospitals, we need colleges to teach doctors and nurses, we need paramedical staff, we need technicians, we need labs to be run. So that will really generate a lot of employment. Then next is regional craft. India is a diverse nation in terms of craft. Every part of India, every state of India has some craft of it. For example, let's talk about Punjab as we belong to Punjab. That fulkari, Punjabi jutti, paranda making is craft which we have. This knitting of sweaters also to some extent. So that can be promoted. The women in the rural areas can make that, and that can be marketed by the government. Then tourism. Again, not only regional diversity in terms of handicrafts, we have diversity in our physical features, which gives us diversity in our climatic areas, which leads to different cultures, different food items. So tourism can really be promoted. If Singapore can survive on tourism, why can't we as India, which we are seventh largest country and diversity is there? So we can definitely tap this. And then IT. If we want to have more jobs, IT is the future. The next era is of IT and AI. So this information technology sector is required to be more expanded so that more jobs can be generated. That's all for today. Thank you.